So it ushers in a new year now, and some things are probably going to be changing around the shop a bit. After my last track day, I ran into some issues with the front splitter on the car. They're nothing big. I'll show you in this video. They're it's easily fixed, but it's going to require a little bit more effort into it. So you're going to see some changes to that front splitter that I built. More supports are going to be in it. I'm going to keep using the same material on it. Again, I think it's 1/2-inch plywood. It's birch plywood. It's worked out pretty well for me at lower speeds. Once I started hitting triple digits, the front started to wave in a bit on me, and you'll see if you haven't already seen the area is starting to shave off a bit up underneath it. So there's going to be some changes there. The car still performed really well. There's no overheating issues or anything, but I don't have a coolant or an oil temp sensor in it, so I'm not exactly sure what kind of oil temp I'm looking at. So just to remedy some of that, I've got an oil cooler setup that I'm working on right now. This is an FD RX7 oil cooler. A friend of mine gave this to me. It's got a thermostat already built into it. The only difference is, or the only issue I'm going to have with it, well, probably among others, but one of the main issues I'm having with it is the connection type. You know, the FD was designed for this oil cooler, so it has all the wires run to the appropriate size for it. I found some fittings that'll work, and then I can actually adapt to the hoses that I have. I've got an old universal oil cooler set up right here, and these are the hoses. You can see they're crimped on at the ends. They're pretty beefy hoses. They're gonna definitely work for my use. I got some routing issues. Of course, anybody with an NA Miata knows how difficult it can be to try and route around those front headlights. There's possibly going to be a new seat that I'm going to be getting for this car soon. It's going to be another Kirky, most likely, an aluminum seat, but it's going to be a little bit more appropriate for what I'm doing with the car now. For autocross, the drag style seat I had in it worked, but it's not the best. It kind of puts a lot of pressure on your ribs and sort of makes things a little difficult. So I'm going to hopefully do some work for somebody in exchange for this seat that they're putting in. But we'll see how that goes. I'm not exactly sure when it's going to happen. I've also got some possible door bars coming up with it. I got a friend, he's got a pretty good weld station with a bender that he just got. And I think he wants to do some test runs, and hopefully I can convince him, you know, if I just buy the materials and help out and maybe some food or some beer or something, we could do it on my car first, since I don't daily drive it or anything, and he just wants to learn, and I just really want to do some more DIY stuff. I might also do some sheet metal work over this winter. It's kind of low on the priority list. I know I've got some rust on the car, and some people in the comments and stuff were I don't know, surprisingly concerned about some of the rust. I don't really know why. It's you know, it's not rot. It's not just continually eating out the car or anything. I've treated it, but it's not, you know, it's just cosmetic for the most part. It's some weight reduction, guys. Just chill out a little bit. I might do some sheet metal. We'll kind of see. It's not really my forte. I don't really know what I'm doing. So if you want to fumble your way through the dark with me on that one, maybe we'll go through it. As for some other changes in the shop, I'm now renting out half my garage. So I've got a 2-car garage, of course, one 9-foot bay, another a 10-foot bay. Ceilings are too low for any sort of lift in here, but there's plenty of room to work among other stuff. But I got a good buddy. He runs TTE with NASA, and it might not be TTE next year. I don't know. They're going through some rule changes or whatever. So, but he's setting the car up to run PTE, which is their wheel-to-wheel series, or maybe it's TPE. I don't know. It's some alphanumeric code for it, but it's a 99 NB Miata. It's on Zetas. It's got a big RB front bar on it. It's I don't remember the rates he's got on it. I want to say that they're 800, 500. I could be wrong on that. Another Gen 1 Zetas though. He's got a full cage that's coming into it now. He just sold his roll bar the other day. He had a single diag from Hard Dog. He's got a Sparco Pro 2000 seat in it with a NRG release wheel and a Sparco suede wheel on it, or NRG quick release with a Sparco suede wheel. It's got a Wilwood proportioning valve on it. stall header. It's a pretty wild header. He picked up some pretty good numbers from it when they had it on the dyno. He's got the singular hood vents in it. It's got some the Super Miata coolant reroute as well. Their new one. They're anodized. It's beautiful looking. It's expensive, but it's really pretty. He's on Avanti S1s, similar to my car. Actually, I think it's the same as my car, the 15x9s, but he's on a 205 Hoosier. That's kind of what you need to win. And he's got a DIY cold air intake, coil radiator. Nothing crazy on the radiator. I think NA with a coolant reroute, I think you're pretty set for coolant temps. I think when you start going forced induction or Rotrix or something that you start getting into some heat problems. I think he's also wanting to do an oil cooler this winter. I think he's just going to go ahead and chalk it up to the Super Miata, or maybe 949. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't remember all the nomenclatures for it, but he's just going to go ahead and let them tell him what to do and grab that kit. I think you marginally spend a little bit more, but it's tried and true and tested, and not many people are faster than them. So that's what he's gonna. I think he's going for that, and I think he's gonna do a different seat. That Pro 2000 barely fits in the car. He's also got some. How do you say this? Reliability issues with it as of late. With the he's got a big crack in the subframe. I'll show you right now what I'm talking about. This crack is pretty documented apparently with Spec Miata, but for NASA they don't allow you to do any sort of reinforcements for it. So he's going to go ahead and get another front subframe. I'll probably do a video on that. That's the other caveat of him being here. If he wants to use the space, you know, it's unlimited access to it. It's all good. It's really cheap for what you're getting. But the problem, I mean, I'd like to do videos with the car because his car will see stresses that mine never will. It's a dedicated race car, and he pulls to and from. And I don't have any lap times that I know off the top of my head for any of the stuff, but I know that he's constantly winning quite a few tires, and they're pretty avid racers with this stuff. I did not build my car for any sort of class, any racing body except for like a local class. Mine's still primarily a street car, an unsafe street car, but a street car. But I think that's about it for the the stuff I'll be doing. Updates might get a little bit fewer spread out. That's right. I've got some new changes coming on with hopefully the camera, and also some editing software. I'm switching softwares from what I was previously using. It's kind of a steep learning curve. This isn't something that I'm necessarily good at. I've never really done it. I'm just doing it for fun. I was in the garage, so I figured why not record myself. And I find that I really enjoy it. It's a fun hobby to have outside of just racing, because I can't race every weekend, but I can definitely record working on it or record what I'm doing. I'll probably give a shop tour as well, or a garage tour rather. I call it a shop just because it's disconnected, but it's still a garage. I'll give a garage tour later on, probably a couple weeks or a month or two down the road. And I guess that's pretty much it. I've got things moving along nicely now that I've got some income coming into the garage. I'm going to start putting more money into it. I got some kerosene heaters out here. I'll never get electric heat out here. I don't think it's a non-insulated place, and there's just no point in it. I'll probably just keep burning this kerosene torpedo. It heats the place up real well, but as you can see, it's starting to get a little chilly again. I'll run it for about 10 minutes, turn it off, and it takes the edge off of everything. I've also got another stand-up kerosene heater, but it's pretty much just good if you're hanging out close by it or have it near your feet or something like that. I think that's pretty much it, guys. If y'all want to see more content of anything, post up. I'm real active in the comments section, mostly because the comments I get are pretty constructive. I've had a few that are kind of negative, but nothing really bad. Most of you guys are just interested in the DIY stuff or doing it, on the cheap. Follow me on Instagram. It's at Cody Yankee, CODYYANKEY. I post mostly there about car stuff, about the Miata. I'm not super active on it, but I like to follow stuff. I check it every day. So there, and yeah, just stay tuned, and we'll see what happens.